PaperCrafts, and today I'm in my craft room and I'm going to be working on a scrapbook layout for the scraparts-blogspot.com website. And this is the sketch challenge for February, and this is, in case you were wondering, this is my little craft room helper. She's my little furry helper. This is Bella, and I thought it would be appropriate to do the intro for this video because the pictures that I'm going to be using are pictures of Bella when she was in the craft room with me one day and she was helping us out. So this is Bella, and if you want to stick around to the end of this video, I will have a short video clip of my dogs, and I always think it's fun to include them. They love to be in the craft room with me, and so say hi, Bee. Okay, so you're gonna get down now so I can finish explaining? Okay, so we'll see you at the end, okay? All right, so this is the sketch that I'm going to be using for this sketch challenge. This is for scraparts-blogspot.com February sketch challenge, and the rules for this challenge are that you need to create a layout that's inspired by the sketch, and also you need to include you need to include polka dot pattern paper and washi tape, and that's the rules for this sketch challenge. Now, I actually did read the rules before I planned my layout, which is really awesome because usually I plan my layout and then I realize what the rules are, and I get myself into trouble and I have to kind of work around it to make sure I get, you know, the things in there that I need to for the challenge. And so this time I made sure I read the rules first, which was awesome. And I'm going to be using these pictures of my dog Bella. And she was in the craft room with me and a friend. Tina was working on a layout with her grandkids, and they were in these really cute Halloween costumes, and it's like a Batman and Batgirl, I think. And somehow or another, Bella got into the washi tape. Now, I don't remember exactly how that happened, but she's got washi tape there, and it's like a Batman pattern. So I think it was Tina's washi tape. And then once she had the washi tape there, Tina decided that Bella should take a picture and she should pose with the picture of her grandkids. So this is the pictures I'm going to be using. Now, when I take these pictures with my phone, I think I had it in the portrait mode, so the pictures are really tall and skinny. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably cut them down a little bit and make them more of the size of the pictures in the sketch. Okay, so I'm going to be using these three pictures. And then for my polka dot pattern paper, I pulled this paper in, and this paper is from Simple Stories from the Summer Days collection. And the name of the paper is So Much Fun. I love this side of the paper, but I do have to use polka dots, so I'm going to be using this side. And then I wanted to bring in more red, and one of the reasons why I picked this particular polka dot paper was because I wanted to pull in the colors that were in the pictures. So there's red in her collar and yellow in this Batman sticker. And then there's this turquoise from the Raskog cart. And so that was kind of the reason why I decided to go with this particular polka dot. Now this red stripe pattern paper is so pretty. And I wanted to bring out more of the red in her collar. And so I decided to pull this paper. And this one is from Dear Lizzie. And it's called, I guess the name of the collection is Daydreamer. And the name of the paper is Flying Kites. And I love double-sided paper. But one of the problems is that when you use a paper and you like both sides, yeah, it kind of hurts sometimes that I'm not going to be able to do anything with this side, because I'm planning to use this entire sheet of paper because I'm going to take this cardstock. This is kind of like a vanilla or light yellow cardstock, and I'm going to use the red to mat my layout. I'm going to use the polka dot as the main paper behind the pictures here. And I'm going to gut this red stripe paper probably and map my photos. So that's kind of the plan. Now I also need to bring in some washi tape. So I have these two washi tapes that I pulled from my section that has doggy or dog type washi tapes. And this one has gold bones and hearts, and it's a really pretty green, and I thought it went really well with this paper. And then the other one I have here is one that says woof and rough and bow wow. So I think it also has little balls on it. I thought that was really cute too. So I'm going to use one or both of these washi tapes. And then the last thing I'm going to bring in is I need something for these little banners that are on the page, and maybe something for the little hearts. And so I'm going to bring in this paper pad. This paper pad is from Cartabella, and it's called Beach Day. And even though this is a summer themed beach type pattern paper, it has a lot of similar colors to this polka dot. So I think I'm going to be using this paper right here, which is really cute. And then possibly the red and white stripe. And maybe there was a green paper in here too I thought would be really cute. So possibly this green one. That's more of, it's kind of like a solid, but it's got some variation in the colors. I also thought this plaid was really cute. So I'm going to be bringing in some of the papers in this 6x6 paper pad to do the banners. I'm also thinking about pulling in some thickers for my title. And so I pulled these, this is a red thicker called Delight. And it's a foam thicker. And then also had this yellow glitter thicker that's called Macaw. And I've used this one quite a few times. And one of the problems with this particular thicker is all the letters are falling off. So there was a video that Janet did from RTS Scrapbooking where she showed how to fix this. And I do need to go through some of my thickers and see if I can fix these. But you just take some wax paper and glue that onto some cardstock, and then you can stick these pieces that are falling off onto the wax paper. It will stick to the wax paper, but it won't stick to the backing that they give you. So I don't know what's up with that. I have done that already on a few of my thickers that are falling off like this, and it does work really well, at least for the ones I've tried so far. Okay, so I can't scrap and talk at the same time, so I'm going to stop talking and get to scrapping. And I will speed this up and do a voiceover later, kind of walking you through the process of this layout. So I'm going to start off by cutting down these papers to create my background. I'm going to use this red and white stripe as the mat for the entire layout. And I'm cutting the inside and kind of gutting the paper so that I can use that part to map my pictures. And I'm using this Creative Memories paper trimmer, and it is so awesome. I just recently joined the Creative Memories team as an advisor back in December, and I'm looking forward to getting more of the tools. But so far I have this paper trimmer, and then I have some older tools that I've had since probably I started scrapbooking 25 years ago. I have the little personal photo trimmer and some other items that I've had for a super long time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these photos down using this 12-inch paper trimmer. And I do like to cut my photos with the little personal paper trimmer, but it does only cut, I think it's like 7 inches. It doesn't cut, 12 inches. So you kind of have to cut things down a little bit before you can use that. But I do love the way that that little personal paper trimmer cuts photos. It just really gives it a really crisp edge. So now I'm going to go ahead and map these photos, and I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers layering guides, and I'm going to go around the entire photo and create a 1/8 inch mat, and I'm going to do that for all 3 of the pictures. Now I did cut out some parts of the video just to kind of make this go a little bit quicker, so you're going to see as the magic of editing happens that all 3 photos are now matted. And I did cut that polka dot paper down to, I think it was a 4-inch by 12-inch or a 5-inch by 12-inch, I can't remember, but I did cut that down. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together and making my background. And it's really interesting because I picked out this kind of cream colored cardstock as my background. And once I started kind of laying out the different elements on this scrapbook layout, I decided that I didn't like that as my background. So you're going to see me later going through and trying to figure out what other paper I can actually use as a background. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and look for some paper that I'm going to be using to create some banners. So I pulled out that lime green and then that chevron paper, and I'm going to also pull out that stripe. Now I did feel like these papers, the stripe and the chevron, were pretty close in pattern, but there wasn't really anything else in that paper pad that really I thought I could use on this layout, because that paper pad did have a lot of summer type papers. And then I also decided that I was going to use this red alphabet or thicker, because the background was kind of like a light yellow or cream color, and I thought that the yellow thickers wouldn't stand out enough. And I really did like the size of the red thickers, because I'm going to be making this title a little bit long. It's going to be called Furry Little Helper. Now in the sketch they had several hearts, and so I decided to try to pull in some wood veneer, and I got 2 wood hearts. And I thought about putting a sticker on top of the wood heart and kind of changing the color of it. And I did try that, but the shape of the stickers that I had didn't really match the shape of my wood veneer. So I decided to go in a different direction, and later I'm going to be coloring those hearts with some Heidi Swap Color Shine. But for now, I'm just decided that I wanted to go through and just flip through the sticker books. I was looking to see what word stickers I could pull out, and also just kind of looking through the stickers to see if I had any other hearts that I could use. So I just recently started organizing my stickers and creating these sticker books, and if you're interested in seeing how I did that, I will leave a link in the description below to the 2 videos that I have showing how I've been creating these sticker books. I also have another video that I'm planning to do. I don't know if it'll go up before or after this video, but it's going to be on tearing down a sticker book and also organizing the stickers into categories. So if I have that video up on my channel when this process video goes up, I will put a link to that video in the description as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting up this 6x6 pattern paper, and I'm going to start making banners. And I really, at this point, wasn't liking the paper choices that I had made, and I couldn't figure out what it was about the layout that I just wasn't like. It almost looked like it was disjointed, like there was something about it that wasn't getting, tied together, and it wasn't looking cohesive. And so at this point, I think I was just going to go ahead and create these banners. And as I was building the banners, I was just thinking to myself, how am I going to fix this layout to where it looks like it belongs together? Because at this point, it really just didn't look like things were going together very well. And so I did think about adding a banner with the polka dot paper, but I didn't like that either. I'm going to bring in this green. It was kind of like an embossed polka dot tone on tone green, thinking that if maybe I put some of that behind that polka dot paper, that would help, and it didn't help. So I was just kind of struggling here, and I do want to mention at this point that I kind of waited a really long time to create this layout, and I really couldn't put it off any longer. And this was really late at night when I was working on this, and I was very tired. So I did have a little bit of a rough time with this layout, and it did not come together very easily. But I do like how it came out in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and mat this polka dot paper with this green, and it's not going to stay. It did kind of help a little bit in giving separation between the background and the polka dot paper, but I didn't really think it fixed the problem. And I kept looking at this layout, trying to think, well, what is it about the layout that I'm not liking? And I came to the conclusion that it was that vanilla or light yellow cardstock. So while I was thinking about what to do to fix the layout, I knew that I had to add some washi tape, and so I went ahead and put some of this washi tape on this banner. And I wasn't really thinking about it at the time that there was words on the washi tape, and it was kind of crooked, so I'm trying to fix it here. But the washi tape ended up having the words going in the wrong direction, so I'm going to have to go back later and try to figure out what to do about that. But for now, I'm going to work on trying to find another piece of paper to use as my background. So now we're going to be playing some musical backgrounds. And I left all this in here because I thought it was kind of interesting to kind of see all of the different backgrounds that I tried. So I had gone through some of my pattern paper and I pulled out different ones that had yellow or teal or, you know, like a blue, and or like I think I tried some ledger paper, and I just went through and just put the paper on there to try to see if it would look right with the red and white stripe as the mat. And so a lot of the paper was just too busy, or it was the wrong color, or it just didn't look right with the red and white mat. The scale of the paper was too close to all the other papers, and I really wanted something that was more of a tone on tone, or something that would just kind of you know, pull in all the other papers without making the layout too busy. Now this paper, I love that paper. I love the color. I thought that would have worked out so well, and I kind of wish I would have went with it, but at the time I kind of was struggling with the fact that it had that floral at the bottom that was part of the paper, and I knew that I would have to incorporate that into the layout because you know, I needed to have a paper that was at least 11 by 11 to cover up that cardstock. So I did actually go through and flip through a bunch of paper that I had in my color bin, and here's another paper that I had that was a ledger paper. And it's funny because I did actually go back to using this paper right here, which was a it's kind of almost looks like a honeycomb, and it's a tone on tone yellow. I thought it had the right kind of yellow in it to match the polka dot paper, and it was subtle enough, the pattern was subtle enough that it didn't make the layout too busy. And I also thought that this thickers that I was using with these red foam thickers were going to look really awesome on that yellow pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this paper down, and I did cut it down. I think I did like an 11 1/8 of an inch because I wanted to make sure that I would completely cover up that cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And once I did this, I really did start to feel like this layout was going to come together, and it was going to work out much better. So now that I had my background figured out, I'm going to try to determine the placement of my pictures, my title, the banners, and just the various elements of the page. And I did think about putting the title there at the top, but later I'm going to move it back down to the bottom. I also was trying to work out where I was going to put that polka dot paper and what banners I was going to use. And so I'm just kind of playing around with the different elements to try to figure out what looks good. And here's where I deviated a little bit from the sketch, because instead of having a banner on either side, I'm going to end up having 3 banners on the right side above my title. And then I'm going to do a banner at the bottom underneath the picture, and I'm going to be putting a tag at the top of the layout. And so I am deviating a little bit from the sketch. Just kind of worked out better with the papers that I had selected and my photos. Now here's where I decided that I would try to use some Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and I'm going to try to color those wood veneer hearts gold, and I'm going to be using some other gold elements on the layout, and so I wanted to add some more gold. And I started out by taking a stencil brush and just kind of tapping it onto the wood veneer, and that was working okay. But later I found that just taking the sprayer from the bottle and just putting it directly onto the wood heart worked better, because especially this larger wood heart was just soaking up that Heidi Swapp Color Shine when I was trying to use the brush. And so once I did those two, I'm going to go back and find another heart to use, because I like to do like 3 of something on a layout. So I had this dog and cat wood veneer, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick out a heart, and it had a little paw print in it, and I also got a bone from that set as well. and I'm going to be coloring both of those with this Heidi Swap Color Shine. I thought that worked out really well, and I do love the Heidi Swap Color Shine, and it was kind of an interesting thing to do with it. I had never done this before, and I was actually quite happy with the way that it turned out. And I love that it added additional sparkle and shine to my layout. I thought that they came out really pretty. So I was using a gold washi tape and the gold hearts and the bone, and I decided to bring in a gold paper clip that was shaped like a dog, and I'm also going to be using those little mini gold alpha stickers. I guess I put those to the side for now, but I'm going to be bringing those back in later. Now here's where I created an additional banner or tag with that color green, and I did a banner and a tag, and I'm going to be putting that there, and I think that really tones down the stripe and the chevron paper, and I'm going to be adding in more of this washi tape with the gold words on it. I did put that up there, and it says woof. I'm later going to turn that into a tag. So I'm going to turn this into a banner, and then I'm going to be also adding some washi tape to that as well. And I think I might have went a little bit overboard on the washi tape words, but I thought they were so cute, and I kind of scattered them all over the layout. This layout did get a little bit busy, but that tends to happen with my layouts, especially I think when I'm tired and I'm kind of struggling with the layout. I tend to keep adding things, trying to, fix things, and I guess add more and more and more stuff to the layout. So I did go ahead and flip the layout upside down just to try that out to see if I liked it better with the title there at the top and then the banners underneath. And I am going to go back later and change it back around, but I decided I would make a tag because there was a tag on the sketch. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a couple tags. I made one with that striped paper, one with this green paper, and I also think I took that little polka dot paper and I made a tag with that as well. I was just trying to figure out what would work and to try to pull some of those pattern papers into the top of the layout. And I did end up only using the green tag. I think that kind of toned it down. And using too many of the pattern papers just made the layout look really busy, and so I decided just to go ahead and go with that green tag. And I had put a little bit of washi tape on that, and it says wolf, and I think actually that works out really well there at the top. And I really love that Stampin' Up! Punch. It is a punch where you can take any 2-inch strip of paper and make a tag, and I actually have 2 of those, and they still sell those at Stampin' Up! I have a scallop topped tag punch and also that one that just has the angles. So I did flip this around a couple of times, just kind of playing around with the placement of the layout and trying to figure out kind of how I wanted it to go. And I did end up with leaving it like it was originally. I put it back the way it was. Now I did try to put the tag there above the picture on the left hand side, but I decided it looked better above the picture that was at the top there with that little doggy paper clip. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that banner that had the word bow wow down there at the bottom. And I thought that was really cute. So here I decided to move the paper clip to the left side of that picture because of the direction that the dog was facing. And I thought that looked a little bit better. And now I'm going to pull out this twine. This is twine I have on these ribbon hang tags, and I have this hanging on the side of my Raskog cart so that anytime I need to add twine to a tag, I can just quickly find the color that I want to use and add that to my tag. So I'm just going to tie a knot, and then I'm going to rough up the edges to kind of look like it's frayed. And I did pick out a natural color twine. I just thought it went with the look and feel of this layout. So there is a short video clip of my 2 dogs at the end of this video if you want to stick around for that. And in that clip, my dogs are just sitting there in my craft room staring at me, and I couldn't figure out what they wanted. It wasn't dinner time, they didn't really need anything, and one of the things I like to do when I'm not sure what my dogs need is I'll just start asking them a series of questions. And my dog Bella will respond and she will bark if that is what she wants. And so it's so funny. I can ask them things like, do you need to go outside? Are you thirsty? Do you want something to drink? Are you hungry? Do y'all want a treat? You know, and it's funny because in this clip, I usually, if I get to that question, I go through all the different questions. I get to that question, and Bella's like barks because she always wants a treat. But in this particular video clip, I asked the question and she didn't bark. And so then I asked her, I said, well, do you want a belly rub? And then she started barking. So I guess they just wanted some attention and they felt like they were getting ignored. And so it was just funny that I captured that in this little video clip. So I hope y'all enjoy that. Okay, so back to the layout. Here I'm going to go ahead and build my title. I did take it off the wax paper and put it onto the layout there. And I did want to add in some more gold to the layout. So I'm going to add in some more of the washi tape to that green banner. And I'm going to add kind of a subtitle to my title. So above the furry little helper, I'm going to be adding in the gold letter stickers and spelling out Miss B or Miss Bella, because that's kind of what I call my dog. That's her nickname, is Miss Bella or Miss B. And so I'm going to put Miss Bella, Furry Little Helper, and that's going to be the title. Okay, so I did actually cut out some more of these washi tape words that said woof and rough and bow wow, and I added one of those words to each one of the tags. And I just love the way that that turned out. Now, it does make the layout a little busy, but at the same time, I love adding word stickers to my layout because I don't really do a lot of journaling, and I think that adding word stickers kind of compensates for that because it kind of tells a story. Because as I'm building the layout and I'm choosing different words to add to my layout, I'm thinking about the layout and the memory and the story as I'm choosing the words. And so I think that that kind of tells the story of the layout, all those little word stickers and the washi words that I added. So here's where I'm trying to put in that Miss Bella, and I couldn't quite fit it there, so I'm going to have to move down the entire title. And I don't know how many times I moved that furry little helper, but it finally gets moved down a little bit there, and then I have the space to put Miss Bella above the word furry. And I did finally manage to get that in there, and I had to stack the words on top of each other. So instead of putting Miss Bella on one line, I had to use 2 lines, but I think it worked out okay. I'm going to go ahead and glue down this little twine so that it's not sticking up over the top of my layout. And I'm using some art glitter glue, and I just love that art glitter glue. It's my favorite glue, and it's so easy to use, and when you squeeze the bottle, you don't even really have to squeeze the bottle. It just comes out, and it's a very thin glue, but it dries clear. It's really easy to work with, and I just love it. It's my favorite glue. Okay, so I'm going to go and just look at the layout and check to make sure everything is glued on. And I think it's just about finished. I did want to make sure that all the letters were on and straight before I press down on those. And I'm just going to adjust these letters just a little bit more to make sure that they all look like they're lined up. So I find that when I'm working with the foam thickers and those little square alpha stickers, if you don't press down on them and you just kind of lightly put them on your layout, you can move them around, and it won't tear the paper if you shift them a little bit. And so I don't usually press down on those letters until I'm absolutely sure that I have everything lined up, and then I will just go ahead and press down really hard on all of the letters and make sure that they're stuck down on the layout. And I find that works really well because I do think sometimes it's important to make sure that your letters are lined up and they look right, because when you have all your title even except maybe one letter's off, it just, your eye gets drawn to that area, at least mine does, and it's kind of like a flaw. So I do like to make sure that I get my title on there straight. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put on these hearts, and I thought that the hearts were not dry, so I'm going to go ahead and get out my embossing tool, and I wanted to try to see if I could get those dry so that I could finish this layout. So I'm doing something here that you should never do, and that is I am using my heat tool, and I am using my regular just cutting mat. And one of the things that I have found, because I have ruined several cutting mats, is if you do this where you're, holding that heat gun in one place, it will make your mat bubble, and you would get like, it will raise the mat up and you'll get humps in your mat. So you definitely don't want to do that. And so I did bring in a black cutting board that was heat resistant, and that's what I usually like to use when I'm using my embossing tool. But I guess at the time I was just thinking I'm going to blow some air, not thinking how hot it was going to get. And then my mat did actually bubble a little bit, so I was, I don't know why I did that, but sometimes I think I was tired. I just wasn't thinking. So, okay, so I'm looking at these sticker books again, and I wanted to pull out some little word stickers to add this to this layout. And so I'm looking through these sticker books to try to find some stickers to use. So I found these stickers. They were white with black letters, and this one says seriously fun, and I thought that was cute, and I added it to that large heart that's in the middle of the layout. And then I also found the word sweet, and I added that at the bottom on that banner, and then I added the happy at the top on that tag. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down all these wood veneer pieces, and wanted to try to bring in some more dog stickers. And so I'm looking through these different stickers, and I came across this little gold paw print, and I thought that looked really cute on top of that heart. And then I'm also going to pull in this little dog. Now I did love the dog, and I wanted to put it right there, but I thought it was really close to the picture and her face, because Bella's face is really close to the edge of the picture, and it was just competing with her face. And so I decided to move it on the other side of that picture, and I thought that looked really cute. I would have loved to have put it there though, right above that large heart, because I did think that that looked good there. I just didn't like it with the picture right next to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this up onto some foam tape, and I'm looking through this enamel dots. I have these acrylic drawers that I keep all my enamel dots by color, and I found these little red hearts. I wanted to add some more red to the top and the bottom cluster on this layout. And I also added one of those little red hearts over there by the title. So that's going to finish off this layout. And here's some close-up pictures of the layout. And this layout says, Happy Wolf, Bark Wolf, Bow Wow, Seriously Funny, Miss Bella, Furry Little Helper, Bow Wow, Sweet. And I think that these words really suit my little dog Bella. So don't forget to stick around to the end of this video if you want to see that short video clip of my two dogs. I hope that y'all enjoyed this scrapbook process video, and if you did, please give this video a like, and if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now. So what's the deal? What you need? They do this and I don't get it. Y'all hungry? You need to go outside. You need water? Are you thirsty? Do you need a treat? No? Do you need to have a head rub? Belly rub? Oh, that's what you want?